Matt Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Thanks for joining us. 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Great to have you with us on this beautiful Monday morning. A little chilly to start out with, but I think this week's going to be pretty warm here, right?
Yeah, tomorrow,
we're getting back into the 70s and 80s.
Bro, we're going to hit 81 tomorrow.
81, that's what I thought it was.
That's stupid. Cooler by the end of the week, though.
I mean, come on.
It's gross at this point. I mean,
come on.
I have never complained this much about perfect weather.
Oh, it is perfect.
But the last few weeks has been like San Diego, 70s and sunny.
It has.
But it's not that time of year. Know your place, weather.
I know.
Oh, I know. And people listening up north dealing with snow and and probably scraping up their windshields like, shut up.
No, enjoy it. Enjoy it up there because you'll miss it if you ever come live here. You'll think, God, yeah, seasons are nice. It's nice to have a change of seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're not going to get that here. 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Hope your weekend went really well.
Mine did.
Keys
so good.
Was great.
So good.
Falcons were destroyed yesterday by the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah. I mean, destroyed. I mean, it wasn't even...
Was it 43-3?
43-3. That's right, Pat. It was... I don't know when the Falcons will be able to sit down from that spanking.
Not for a long time.
But they better turn it around quickly. Thursday night, they've got the Patriots.
Ooh.
Who are on a roll.
Yeah, they are. They crushed the Browns. Of course, Browns didn't have Baker Mayfield, but still they crushed them. Packers shut out the Seattle Seahawks. That's the first time they've been shut out in a long time. 17-zip.
The defense is something else.
Yeah, doing really well this year. And they got Aaron Rodgers back. I read some angry thing from some moron. So Aaron Rodgers can endanger his teammates and lie and come back after 1 week. But Colin Kaepernick... Oh, shut up.
There's a difference. One of them wants to play. One of them doesn't.
Plus, one of them is one of the best quarterbacks of all time. The other sucks.
That's an important distinction.
Yeah, a really important one. And that guy's had time after time after time. They've invited him to camp or offered him a backup job, and time after time he said no. Seahawks were one of them. Seahawks offered him $10 million to back up Russell Wilson years ago. And he said, no, thank you. I don't want to be a backup. Oh, okay. So Cal-USC was canceled.
Yeah.
I'm concerned about that because we've got USC. BYU has USC, not this Saturday, but the next. So I'm hoping they're... I don't want them wussing out here. Do not wuss out.
Oh, my gosh. Check it out, Pat. They are. Let me tell you what's going to happen. I'm going to predict the future for you. Sorry, BYU. USC, Cal, we got to make up that game. It's a conference game, so our independent
I could
game...
see that happening.
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to play you. Sorry.
That would suck.
Yeah, because you guys have good momentum. Game. You need to keep moving up in the rankings.
Yep,
How's that feel, moving up in the rankings?
Really
How does
good.
it feel to appear in the
like
rankings?
I love
How does it feel to appear in the others receiving votes?
That's not as exciting, but
right?
It's
it's a start,
exciting.
right?
Yeah, it's a start.
Yeah. Did you know when we were talking football last week, and you were asking about Nebraska, it completely slipped my mind. I guess I don't know the exact scenario there, but in order for Scott Frost to keep his job into 2022, he had to let go of the offensive line coach, the running backs coach, the quarterbacks coach, and the offensive coordinator. That happened a week ago. So that's fun times.
He's down to his last chance.
Yeah, fun times in Huskerville.
Down to his last chance. Did they play this weekend?
No, thankfully, no.
Is that their second bye? Didn't they just have a bye?
Yeah, they had one because remember they were supposed to play in Dublin, but COVID screwed that up, and so they had.
Okay.
Yeah, but it is the second one.
Saw that Jeffy's Missouri Tigers beat South Carolina, so that was a good win for them. What are they? 5-4, 5-5, something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, but Texas lost to Kansas. That was funny.
Texas lost.
I like that one.
To Kansas. Kansas.
Did you see
to one-win Kansas?
The guy who catches the 2-point conversion
man.
to win the game, that was his first ever offensive play.
Oh, man.
That was
really?
so cool. He was playing because of injuries. His big dude, I think fullback. Yeah, that was fun. I like that story.
I don't know what it is with Texas. You know, year after year after year, they recruit the best players in the country. Every year they're in the top 10 in recruiting. Usually they're top 5. And often they're number 1. They beat Alabama sometimes for recruits. It's incredible the talent they get at that school. And then they can't win. What is the deal? Something's radically wrong. And they coach after coach after coach.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
They've lost 5 in a row. And
5 in a row.
Kansas and Iowa State.
Ugh, man. And that's sad because, you know, they're coached now by a BYU alum, Steve Sarkisian. And I want him to do well. And he's not doing well right now. But nobody can at Texas. I don't know if they're cursed. I don't know what the deal is. It's really strange. You know, 4- and 5-star recruits that can't win football games. Are they 4 and 6? I think 4 and 7. I mean, it's terrible. Whatever they are.
I was checking when you were saying that. Yeah, so they're 4 and 6 now. Yeah, I was looking. Yeah, Nebraska's had 3 bye weeks. You're right. They did have one just a few weeks ago. I'd forgotten about that.
Right.
What's the deal?
I don't know. They're stretching their season into January, maybe.
I guess eventually.
Somehow. We're not going to play a bowl game, so we'll stretch our regular season into January.
I like that plan. That's the way to do it.
This is interesting. Europe is weighing border walls as immigrants mass at borders to join the EU.
I'm sorry, what was that? They're doing what?
They're considering border walls. Yeah, putting border walls up to stop people from immigrating. Huh. Wow.
I heard those don't work.
I heard they're hateful, too.
That's right.
Standoff over the fate of thousands of migrants camped in the forests of Belarus trying to enter Poland. You got to be desperate if you're trying desperately to enter Poland.
Wait a minute.
To push the European Union to embrace steps its leaders once considered controversial, explicitly paying for fences at the EU's frontiers and pushing back people who attempt to cross. If they had the same immigration problem that we have, if it was as dire as it is here, they would have built fences years and years ago. And they'd patrol their borders with military. Before the migration crisis of 2015, when over 1 million asylum seekers poured into Europe at the height of the Syrian civil war, the EU traditionally deemed accepting the refugees to be a humanitarian imperative. Now, amid growing popular backlash and the rise of anti-immigration political forces, that position is shifting. In a bloc that long held itself up as a magnet for people leaving poorer or war-torn countries, tolerance is growing for previously contentious practices, such as forcing immigrants back across the borders, a tactic now deployed by Polish and other Eastern European member states bordering Belarus. Europeans now regularly see social media videos and TV news clips of migrants escorted by the military of Belarus, a dictatorship and, of course, Russia's closest ally, toward the Polish border, with Moscow's bombers flying above. Wow. Situation is prompting the EU to abandon a long-held principle of not officially financing barriers along the frontiers. But now they're definitely considering it because you can't not. You can't run a country, a sovereign nation, and just allow your borders to be porous. There's just no way. You can't do it. It leads to chaos and collapse. And they're going to realize that. And they're probably going to do something about it, whereas we will not. At least not until 2024 when we have a Republican president. And maybe not even then. Goodness knows Republicans have not been great on the border. At least George W. Bush certainly wasn't. Trump was better on the border, but he didn't get that wall built like he said he was going to.
That's because of his Republican Congress.
And probably.
So he had to do executive orders, which can be overturned with another executive order.
Which is exactly what's happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why laws turn out to be something that's, time-tested and a good way to go. Why don't you make a law? And then that way that law will be enforced when the next guy comes along.
That's probably a good plan for, say, a country who hypothetically is ruled by laws instead of man.
Right.
In theory, what you're saying would make sense if that perfect society with a perfect, say, constitution existed. That might work.
Yeah. And not just the existence of a constitution, but maybe that country would follow that constitution, would abide by that constitution.
Corby, write this down. We should have a country with a constitution that we follow. Cool. I don't want to forget this one. That's a good idea, Pat.
Thank you. Thank you. I try.
Well, you do well. You're talking about what happens with Republicans in power, Democrats in power. Have you seen the polling for 2022 at this point compared to previous years? You got to see this, dude.
I don't think so.
You got to see this, man. 1994, right? Mm-hmm. Put the tweet. Did I send you the tweet from Steve Deace? Basically, the GOP is plus 10 right now in polling. Okay. Again, so generic GOP
against generic Democrat.
Democrat, right. And of course, I did not send this poll, I'm told. So they're plus 10 right now. In the past, when they had their big red wave midterms, 94, Democrats were plus 4. But remember, that's when Gingrich Revolution. 2010, GOP was plus 4, right? That was Tea Party.
Huge. Yep.
2014, GOP was plus 2. So these were all big Republican victories.
Right now, we're plus 10.
Correct. So remember, they were minus 4, plus 4, plus 2. Those were all Republican big gains. Right now, they're plus 10. Now, we're ways to go, and they'll probably screw it up between now and then, the GOP. But that's where it stands right now as far as just general polling.
We could buy ourselves a little more time if the Republicans get back the House and Senate.
Yeah. What do Democrats do with their absolute power in the remaining 14 months here?
Yeah. Oh, man. I mean, that's what they're doing is going full steam ahead anyway, despite the fact they got their head handed to them in Virginia and New Jersey to a certain extent. Mm-hmm. And they thought, they just want us to do more. They want us to do more left-wing extremism. That's what we should do.
One could also argue in 94, 2010, and 2014, elections were a little bit more, say, secure than they are in 2020. Mm-hmm. So
it's a crazy world.
Just saying.
Also, we've got so many issues right now with our politics and with our culture and with this coronavirus thrown in on top of it and all the things that come with it, from the mandatory vaccines to the masks and who gets what service. This is incredible. Yeah. This happened in the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
This happened down the road. This is, I don't know exactly where this is, but this is on MacArthur, which is the road we exit off of to get to work.
Happened right here in Irving. And this guy was denied medical service.
Yeah, he's going in for the
monoclonal
Yeah, he wants
therapy.
that because he's got COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everybody has heard about this now, and they know that that's a pretty effective treatment, so he tries to get it.
So I'm not going to be able to get it today? Because I don't qualify?
Yep.
What if I like smoke and vape? I heard that was
Negative.
No? Okay. But if I were black and Hispanic,
Right.
then I'd be able to qualify? Okay. I'm being denied medical service because of my race.
Gosh.
That's the criteria?
Yeah.
So what I do, I go around and make sure everyone meets the criteria.
Okay.
So that's the criteria that was set forth. If you were 65, you'd be good.
Oh, if you were 65
You'd be good.
or black.
And you're healthy and no medical conditions. So research showed that you should be able to fight off COVID.
Okay.
Or maybe it's for someone else, may preclude them a little more, or make them a little more susceptible to being worse with COVID.
Okay, so you're better.
Any questions?
So, sorry, you're white.
No, I guess not.
All right, you with her?
Yeah.
Wow. What? Any questions?
Nah.
Yeah. Do you have the number for your hospital's lawyer? Because you're gonna need him. You're gonna need him really, really soon. That is incredible. So if I were black or Hispanic, I could get the monoclonal treatment. Yeah.
But if you're white, then you can fight it off. So there.
Jeez.
Okay, well then that was a fun visit there. So he posts that video, and people are like, "Oh my gosh, what?" And somebody found on that medical center's website like who qualifies for this treatment, and he clearly does not because he's a whitey McWhiteface.
Yeah. Patients must meet at least one of the following criteria.
Okay.
Okay, pregnant. High-risk ethnicity groups, Latinx or black.
Okay.
Older age, for example, 65 or older. Obesity or being overweight. For example, 25 kilograms /m.
I don't know.
squared.
You're getting hung up on the BMI stuff.
I don't.
I love how they put they put the BMI category up there, and they do it in kilograms. They do know that this is not only America but Texas, right?
Thank you. Yeah.
Oh God.
Chronic kidney disease, diabetes, or immunosuppressive disease. You're currently receiving immunosuppressive treatment, or you've got heart disease, high blood pressure, chronic lung disease, sickle cell disease, or neurodevelopmental disorders.
Wait, who can't go in there and say they have high blood pressure?
You could, but
Everybody.
then they take your blood pressure. And
you know what? After they told me I didn't qualify for it, then my blood pressure would definitely go up.
That's true.
But so I would have qualified for this a year ago if this was available, just because of the high blood pressure. But I mean, I was white, quote, healthy, quote, young when I had it, and that was hell on earth.
Would they have given you this treatment if it was available then? The monoclonal therapy. Who knows?
They would have checked my high blood pressure, and they would have said, "Oh, your blood pressure is fine." I would have been like, "Yeah, it's because I'm on medication." And so, how do you prove? This is medical apartheid, man. How many different ways can we do this?
That is crazy. That is crazy.
That's Texas too. Texas.
Is there really data that proves that Hispanics and blacks get this at a higher rate than whites do?
I think isn't it more die from it? Maybe not necessarily
really
contracted. I'm not sure, but it doesn't feel like the Socratic oath or whatever it's called, right? You know?
Oh yeah.
I don't feel like that's being adhered to there.
Do no harm.
Yeah, because if you're just gonna send the guy away, that's because you can't even do that at an emergency room if you don't have health insurance.
Beat it. Yeah, you got COVID. Get out.
But like,
okay.
Right, but like if you have like if your femur is sticking through your skin or something, right? And you're like, well, I don't have insurance and I have no way to pay for it.
They'd still have to treat.
Of course.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is madness, man.
You know, on the other hand, they not only would they not give him monoclonal therapy, I'll bet you if he would have asked for it, they would not have given him hydroxychloroquine or ivermectin either. I bet they would have denied him any of that. So rather than treating it at all, they just tell him to go out and have a nice day. They give him nothing. You don't give him the antibiotic that people go and get in combination with the vitamin D and the ivermectin treatment, and at least give him something that might help him.
He should have tried the I'm pregnant card. Oh, you're going to say I'm not?
Since when can men not be pregnant?
Thank you.
Huh? Since when? Right.
Excuse me, it's ma'am. It is ma'am.
Oh, he should have done that.
Yeah, should have. Do you know I identify as a female? You know that?
Oh, well, I'm sorry, sir. Let me get that
let me
treatment.
hook this up then. Look, somebody get the machine. All right, let me tell you about Rough Greens. If you're a dog owner, you know your dog's just part of the family, and you want the best for your dog. You want the best nutrition, and they're not getting it if you're feeding them that dry kibble dog food stuff that you get at the grocery store, because that stuff's been sterilized so that it lasts for up to 3 years on the grocery store shelves. So all of the nutrients have been killed in the process of sterilization. They're baked right out of it. So what Rough Greens does is put back into your dog's food all the vitamins and minerals and probiotics and antioxidants that they need to be really healthy and active. Most dogs love this right away. Mine certainly does. She loves this stuff. It's like doggy crack for her, I guess. But some dogs are a little more finicky with it and don't take to it. So you want to find out which category your dog fits into. So Rough Greens will send you a small little bag for your dog to try out, see if they like it. Then you go ahead and buy the big bag. So the first one's free. All you have to pay for is shipping. Just go to roughgreens.com or call 833-ROUGH-DOG. That's 833-ROUGH-DOG.
Pat Gray.
Speaking of all this madness, Glenn has a COVID special tomorrow night that he promises going to rock the Casbah. We've had these unprecedented times for over a year and a half now. And maybe they're unprecedented in ways the media and big tech doesn't want us to know about. So Glenn's pulling out the chalkboard for possibly the last time for the leftist-controlled social media to explain exactly who and what is behind the pandemic, who stands to gain from it. Pfizer, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, AstraZeneca, and just how much of a liar pants on fire Dr. Fauci is. We all know because we've seen him lie all over and over and over and over again. We've shown you that. But Glenn will show it all together tomorrow. There's also going to be a special Q&A where you can finally ask those forbidden questions about anything COVID related and finally get some answers. So the truth finally revealed during an epic Blaze TV special event tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern. No, it's Wednesday, right?
Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern.
And you got to watch it on the Blaze because, this isn't going to be on YouTube. This isn't going to be allowed on Facebook. This is going to be
right.
At blazetv.com.
They don't want this information out. They're afraid of it.
It's so weird.
I don't get it. I really don't. For instance, what is Twitter's big claim on this? What is YouTube's? Are they just so committed to the Democrat Party, to extremist leftist ideals, that they don't want anything that contradicts those to get through? And they're so insecure in their beliefs.
That's it.
That those beliefs can't be defended. That you can't even hear the other side. Sorry, we don't want you to even be subjected to the other side. Strange. Un-American. Unpatriotic. We just had 30,000 people that were trapped inside Shanghai Disneyland on Halloween because one person tested positive for COVID-19.
So what are they?
One.
Okay. There are worse places to be trapped, I guess. Oh no, I'm stuck in Disney World.
Well, you better give me some rides to ride.
Right.
I hope I don't have to stand in some COVID testing line the whole time.
Think of that.
With 30,000 others.
You guys may have COVID, so why don't you all huddle together and stand here for hours?
But hopefully Disney's smart enough not to do that, but everybody would do that too. All right. Yeah, we've got somebody with COVID, so line up.
We're going to find out.
We're going to find out who's got it. Jeez.
And that's what's so funny is that if somebody does have it while you're waiting for the testing, then it could be spreading it, but it won't show up on the test until days later.
Yep. Nuts.
Yeah.
The park was shut down after the case was found, and visitors and staff had to be tested for the virus before they were allowed to leave. The police blocked the park's exits, forbidding people to leave until they tested negative. That must have taken forever. How long would that take? My gosh.
I don't know, but if I'm having to wait there, you better be giving me Chick-fil-A or something like that.
Something?
I'm not. I don't deal well with hunger and crowds, and when you combine those two,
it's not good. Not pleasant.
Ooh, you better hope the only thing you have out of that is COVID.
Yeah, and not only was it 30,000, it was 34,000. My gosh, that's crazy. That is nuts. I'd love to go to Shanghai Disney though. That's supposed to be supposed to be a really great. In fact, it was the most expensive park ever built.
Why is that one better than why do you want to go there or the other ones? I've not heard the
because they've tailored that to the specific wishes and needs and and culture of China. And so they've done some things there that were really pretty special and pretty cool. And
how are the bathrooms there?
Probably very, very nice.
I hope.
Probably very nice.
We learned some things about China's bathrooms a year and a half ago.
Oh, did we?
With the COVID outbreak. Oh, gosh, people there.
I don't think I remembered the bathroom situation in China.
Don't wash their hands. The bathrooms are just like open or something. Oh, God.
Really?
Gross.
Yeah, it doesn't sound good.
No.
That does not sound good.
So have fun, though, on your roller coaster.
Speaking of bathrooms, they're finally almost done with. Did they fix the doors on that one?
I don't know.
Keith got into a little bit of hot water for.
Oh, wait a minute! Don't do this.
Texting out.
No, I tweeted out a picture of our bathroom a few months ago.
Tweeted it, yeah. And immediately, immediately the thing was remodeled.
Because Jeffy went in there, remember, and he destroyed the bathroom. Now there's a hole in the wall, so they had to send a contractor out here to patch it up.
Right.
No, and now it's a palace.
So now it's beautiful.
Now, where's the guy holding the towels for us?
Right.
That's the only thing missing in there.
Right. It's really nice now. It's a showpiece bathroom now.
It sure is.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but you're right. Though, have they fixed the doors yet? That I don't know. Last I saw, they were just temporary.
They weren't quite
doors.
finished. They just needed to finish up the doors
Rob
on
says
the stalls.
no, that's still temporary.
All right.
So we can go and carve, Jenny's number and stuff like that on there. In the meantime. Yeah, that reminds me though. We were talking about these bathrooms and stuff like this. Anybody go to a school like this? I spent one semester in Scottsbluff High School in Scottsbluff, Nebraska. And I don't know if graffiti was a problem there at some point or whatever, but they literally did not have doors on the stalls. So you would literally go into the bathroom and dudes would be sitting right there with no doors on the stalls. And you're like, what in the world?
Sorry. I can't.
Have you ever seen that anywhere?
I don't know.
Isn't that was a weird ride. I tell you. Walking through
That's
there.
not fun. I mean, bathrooms are bad enough to begin with, but when they're like that,
I've never seen a bathroom where there was no door in the stalls except for Scottsbluff High School.
Oof.
Back in the early 90s. Good times.
888-900-3393. From the Babylon Bee, liberals accuse Kyle Rittenhouse of trying to avoid punishment through a legal loophole known as trial.
That's a good job, Babylon Bee.
Legal loophole. So good.
Yeah.
They're acting as if he killed black people, and he did not. Everybody involved in this story is white.
And what's so sad is that would make a difference in how this case is being treated.
Yeah, absolutely.
Seriously, whether the circumstances were the same or not, it doesn't matter.
Why is BLM threatening violence over this? I don't understand it. Strange.
There was some group, I don't know who it was threatening to dox the jurors.
Jeez. And they're expecting trouble if he's found innocent. He is absolutely not guilty of murder. It is absolutely self-defense, and that was clear from the very beginning. Yeah. In fact, even before the trial started. More Pat Gray Unleashed coming up.
Pat Gray.
Does the world ever make sense?
No, it does
not. It does not. So don't waste your time trying to figure it out.
It makes less and less sense every single day. Got some tweets here we'll try to make sense of. Mandy Gifford 4. I benched Mahomes this week for frustrating me.
Oh, gosh.
Result?
No.
He scored more fantasy points than he has all season. I'm sending myself to timeout.
Sorry, Mandy. Yeah.
Did he throw 5 touchdown passes yesterday?
Yeah, so he's... in fantasy football world, my league, if your quarterback scores 30 points, that's a good game, okay? Yeah. Last night, I just looked, Patrick Mahomes scored 46.24.
46 points.
So I guess he's just fine. Remember, he's been struggling. Sorry, Mandy.
It was bound to happen, though, really.
Yeah. Well,
he had to have it. He's too good.
Yeah, so my quarterback's Kyler Murray, Pat, and I was forced to start Mike White, the Jets quarterback. Who
threw 4 interceptions.
Yeah, terrible. He scored 6 points. Cam Newton played quarterback, and in one play had more points than I got all day from Mike White. Cam Newton came back for the Panthers and ran it in from like the 6 or 7.
The Panthers win?
Oh yeah, they destroyed Arizona.
He must be a hero in North Carolina now.
I guess he scored and just yelled to the crowd, "I'm back." It's funny. Yeah.
From Jeffy's Meat Sweats, you are correct, Pat. If Republicans win 2022, we will slow down our demise.
Oh, good, right?
We'll only be driving into the brick wall at a slow 400,000 miles an hour compared to the current speed of 1,000,000 miles an hour.
See, that you found the bright.
Yeah, it's a bright spot, right? Mm-hmm. Just saying, tweets, come on, Pat. Texas has seasons, summer and summer light. Yeah, that's about it.
Here we are.
The Steve 42, Chaos and Collapse. It's not a bug in the new order of progressive tolerance. It's a feature. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And from Carl Smith, someone should let leaders of the Congressional January 6th Committee know that those who refuse to participate in their circus aren't showing contempt for the new law, but rather contempt for Congress, which we all have.
Yep.
We all have that nasty. I mean, when you're polling worse than cockroaches,
fact,
you know something's wrong. Mm-hmm. Right? Something isn't right there.
But why? I'm having a hard time falling into line with these guys that are refusing these subpoenas to come and testify, like Bannon and Meadows, and being held in contempt. At least so far, it's just Bannon, but it will be Meadows. It's like I don't know. The administration that is running the joint, they have ignored a court order to stop the vaccine mandate. So why?
Right.
So which laws apply in 2021 America?
Yeah, and they just got an appeals court that stopped them too.
Yes.
The Biden administration just got stopped by a federal appeals court
a second time.
Yeah, this is twice now. So are they going to pay attention to that one? We'll see. Speaking of January 6th, though, Capitol riot suspects say they're force-fed critical race theory and anti-white messaging in jail. Ryan Nichols of Longview, Texas, and Robert Morse of Pennsylvania, who have been charged with multiple offenses stemming from January 6th, wrote a letter to, I don't know who they wrote this letter to. Did they send it to Congress?
Was it the attorney? It's I'm not sure. I think it was, I don't know. I think it might have been the attorney.
They're upset with the conditions in the District of Columbia jail where they're being held. We are force-fed CRT propaganda on tablets, as well as re-education propaganda and anti-white racial messaging.
Wow.
Sound like, I don't know, China?
I was about to say, that doesn't happen in
Russia?
this country, though.
The letter was attached to Nichols' motion for modification of bail, submitted November 1st. It's hard to believe they're still in jail.
Yeah.
He is asking the court to be released on personal recognizance or to be released to the custody of his wife and committed to the supervision of a high-intensity supervision program with GPS monitoring. That seems reasonable. According to the motion, the jail also prevents him from having reasonable access to reading materials while simultaneously streaming anti-white messages and critical race theory propaganda across his tablet. This is psychologically damaging, he says.
Wow.
In a list of 77 grievances, he and Morse claim they are sent to a hole if they express their political views, have to beg for medical aid and water, and aren't allowed religious services.
But again, this could never happen in America.
Yeah, right.
You're reading about some third world country, right?
Well, District of Columbia. Yeah, I guess that qualifies.
I guess that was pretty much the same.
We are political prisoners on American soil who have been unjustly and unfairly incarcerated. We hereby make the following request. Let us spend our precious and limited days in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, where the enemies of the United States of America are treated better than us.
So true.
Who have been merely accused of crimes.
Yeah.
The January 6ers.
Yeah, they're just accused.
Themselves.
Yeah, they haven't just been accused. They haven't even been found guilty, and they're getting this treatment for doing stuff like this right here. See this? They paraded. You see that? They walked right through the...
I just threw up a little bit in my throat. This is so disturbing.
I should have told you don't look yet.
You can't just throw it up there willy-nilly like this.
Well, blame Rob. Don't blame me.
Rob, you bastard.
Right?
Look at this. Oh, that one guy tripped. And then he raised his arms.
Oh.
Yeah. Wow.
Tried to play it off.
That was scary.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that kind of chaos, you don't expect that in America.
I just love, I love watching that video. Put that up there one more time and just look at the far right. I see something new every time. The people on the right are climbing through the window. Literally 3 feet to their right is an entryway that's a door. And
it's wide open.
At least you could say you climbed through the window into the Capitol. It's wide open, too. Exactly. Okay, whatever.
Nobody's even running.
They're parading.
Calmly walking. They're not breaking anything. They're not hitting anyone. They're parading, though.
Thank you.
They are
said
parading.
The magic word.
Yeah, and we can't parade in the Capitol building, so don't think you can.
Oh, is that flash photography? Is that what was happening, too?
No.
I saw the guy had a flash on his camera. That'll get you thrown into literally, we joke. That'll get you thrown into the hole. Ta-da!
It is hard to believe that they've been held this long. I mean, what are they even charged with? Are they charged with parading? Because that's what most of these charges are. Nobody...
one guy finally got...
Did one guy get charged with...
Well, yeah.
I don't know. Nobody's been charged with insurrection, though, have they?
No.
Or treason?
I'm trying to think of what was the... I'll look it up. January 6th, found guilty. What was he found guilty of, I'm sure.
As you look for that, Steve Bannon, of course, longtime ally of President Trump, indicted Friday on 2 counts of criminal contempt of Congress after he defied a subpoena from the House committee investigating January 6th. The Justice Department said Bannon was indicted on 1 count for refusing to appear for a deposition last month and the other for refusing to provide documents in response to the committee subpoena. He's expected to surrender to authorities today and will appear in court this afternoon.
Remember that time that Eric Holder, the sitting attorney general at the time, refused to go and testify about Fast and Furious?
Yes, I do.
Whatever happened to that guy?
Now, that wasn't a problem, though, because he's a Democrat. So that was okay. Yeah,
Power in the D, Pat.
Yep.
By the way, a 71-year-old Alabama man who allegedly brought firearms and 11 Molotov cocktails to the January 6th Capitol riot. He pled guilty to weapons charges last week.
So he brought Molotov cocktails and what else?
Let's see. It was firearms.
Okay.
So that'll get you.
Yeah, don't do that.
So on Friday.
Don't do that.
You got this guy who was found guilty.
All right. Let me take a minute and tell you about Built Bars. This is fantastic. Built Bars are the best. Mm-hmm. And here we are at Thanksgiving time, and there's so much great food and so much of it. And, maybe this year, have a Built Bar for dessert instead of a piece of pie that has 800 calories. This could really, save you some trouble down the road in trying to get weight off. In a slice of pie, you got at least 300 calories, and that's for a small piece. But most Built Bars are only 130 calories, only 4 grams of sugar. They're packed with protein. Maybe instead of that raspberry pie, you could have a raspberry Built Bar instead. They're made with 100% real chocolate. All of them are covered in delicious chocolate. They're low calorie, low fat, low carb, and high in protein. Built Bars are a great option for any time you're hungry during the course of the day. And they're great to just get you through the day every day and not feel guilty. Go to BuiltBar.com and order some now. Use the promo code PAT15. You'll save 15% off your first order. Promo code PAT15 for 15% off at Built.com.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
This January 6th committee probably also going to move to declare Mark Meadows in contempt of Congress 2 days after failing to appear for a scheduled deposition in front of the Select House Committee investigating January 6th. Lawmakers are working quickly to refer Mark Meadows, the former President Trump's ex-White House. I love how they... you can't even get these articles right. We've talked before about the grammar and the writing and some of the online stuff. Okay, listen to this sentence.
Okay.
The sentence. The whole thing's a run-on to begin with. It's a paragraph that's one sentence. 2 days after failing to appear for a scheduled deposition in front of the Select House Committee investigating the January 6th Capitol riot. Lawmakers are working quickly to refer Mark Meadows, former President Donald Trump's ex-White House chief of staff, for criminal contempt, Republican or Representative Adam Schiff said. That's one nasty sentence.
No kidding.
I'm confident we'll move very quickly with respect to Mr. Meadows also, but we want to make sure that we have the strongest possible case to present to the Justice Department and for the Justice Department to present to a grand jury. That's what he said on Meet the Press yesterday.
Wow.
Well, it's so important because this was the day that democracy almost died. So we've got to get this right, and we got to get these people in prison at least, if not, to the gallows. Got to go there fast. Got to get it done.
And we jest, but they would love it.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, they'd love to actually hang them, in my opinion.
If this is really going on in jail where they're sending these guys propaganda to their devices, I don't know. Are devices issued by jails now and they control what you can see and what you can't?
I mean, it might just be a program on a loop just running this propaganda.
Could be.
Sound like, hey, you want some entertainment in your cell? Here's a tablet. Oh, right. Thanks. And it's literally just a slideshow of why white people suck and CRT rules. That's what it sounds like.
I mean, do the authorities really think that's okay? This is all right to do to Americans?
What was that?
Who went into the Capitol building and didn't, they didn't burn it to the ground.
You had a decent idea earlier. Corby, I told you to write this down. Did you do that? It was something about we should have like a constitution or something that we
adhere to.
That we adhere to. Did you write that down? Because I don't want to forget that one later. It seems like if we had something like that and we did that, maybe we wouldn't be dealing with this the way we are.
Right.
What happened to a speedy trial?
Huh. Yeah, speedy trial. Well, it's only been, going on 11 months?
What happened to cruel and unusual punishments?
Huh.
Write that down, too. We should put that in this little constitution thing we're, spitballing here and see if we could have that in there as well.
Yeah, but how do you define speedy? I mean, in the scope of history, of world history.
Let's think this through. How do the founding fathers come up with that? What was the thing in the Constitution where it's like shall not exceed more than like $20 or whatever it is? Remember that? They wrote down like an actual number that like does not apply at all today as far as like inflation and stuff. But yet they didn't give us an actual time frame for speedy trial.
Yeah, and probably should have.
Come on, guys.
But I think they knew courts would be backed up from time to time, and it might take a little longer for some than others. And you can't just release hardened criminals if it hasn't been speedy enough, I guess. Although we do.
Yeah, no,
we do it all the time.
Oh my gosh, how many states, like New York and California, they were just waiting for an excuse to release the prisoners, and so they used COVID for whatever reason. Yeah, here we go. Here's the 7th Amendment. In suits at common law, where the value in controversy shall exceed $20,
$20.
The right of trial by jury shall be preserved. But yet speedy is just this ambiguous word they throw out there for. Okay.
Wow.
Good stuff.
Now that includes just about everything.
Right?
So that's nice. That's good.
Yeah.
All right. 888-900-3393. And at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. What is the ship count now in the ports?
That's a good question. Let me find out.
It was 111 last time we checked in. 111 ships stuck in the port. And people are wondering, why am I not getting the stuff I ordered? Well, because it's all backed up. And nobody is there to apparently unload these ships. But that's all our fault because we're ordering way too much junk.
I know. That's a Biden excuse.
Yeah. I mean, that is so Jimmy Carter-like, isn't it? Blame everything on the American people. Anything going wrong that they don't like, well, it's because of your actions. There's so many things in common, actually, with Jimmy Carter in 1980. The inflation, just like Jimmy Carter, the gas prices shooting through the roof, the shortages of goods. The president blaming Americans for everything that's going on. Anything that's bad, yeah, that's your fault because you guys are just so superficial and you just want things. Materialistic. If you weren't such materialistic douchebags, we wouldn't have these backups. It'd be fine. It's just, and then you're going to start whining about being cold. Put a sweater on. We're going to hear that this winter. Mark my words. We will hear that.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. So in the 70s, it was put an extra sweater on.
Mm-hmm.
What's the equivalent going to be? Put a parka on in your house.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. What do you need? You want to be comfortable? No. Yeah, it's because doesn't it feel worse, right?
Yeah.
Than it did in the 70s.
Oh, yeah, it's worse. Yeah. I think it's a lot worse. And then when we have the rolling blackouts, don't worry about that. That's your fault, too, because you're using way too much energy. Turn down your thermostat for a while. This is good for you. It's good for you. Suck it up, Buttercup. 888-900-3393. And at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. More coming up. It is Pat Gray. Jim Jergis. If you're interested, and of course I know you are.
Wait, I'm
wondering about my preferred pronouns today.
Let me write them down.
Forgot to say them last hour, so.
Let's see if you can remember them.
Jim Jergis. My personal pronouns.
How do you spell those,
today.
though? That's what I don't know.
XIM, I think, and then the second one is ZIR.
ZIR.
And then the third one is XEEZE.
XEZE?
XEEZE.
And I apologize. I'm not trying to be flippant here. I don't.
Thank you for not being flippant.
I don't.
That would very much make me.
I don't even.
Very angry. I'd be very, very upset. And
any of these are words?
Find offense in that. Those, of course, they're my pronouns. What do you mean? Yeah. Are they words?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. All right. It's a fun world. It is. This is interesting. President Biden is thinking about giving local news outlets a shot in the arm. Part of the $1.85 trillion social spending bill would include a provision that, if it becomes law, would mark the first time the federal government has offered targeted support in response to the decline of local news.
Oh, God.
The help would come in the form of a payroll tax credit for companies that employ eligible local journalists. The measure would allow newspapers, digital news outlets, and radio and television stations to claim a tax credit of $25,000 for the first year and $15,000 for the next 4 years, up to 1,500 journalists. Oh, wow. So
good.
The credit would cost about $1.67 billion over the next 5 years. Does create some tension for the industry.
What?
Some top Republicans in Congress have derided it as a handout. You think?
Oh, my goodness.
Leading journalists also acknowledge that it's awkward to receive financial assistance from a government they cover independently.
Do they?
Still, given the sense of the crisis the industry is facing, many journalists believe it's worth the risk.
Oh, God.
Oh, okay, good. Thank you for that.
Does anybody... Pat,
wow.
This is dangerous.
Oh, they're essentially buying journalists now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's what's going on. Is they're going to save the industry? They're going to save these failing newspapers instead of letting the natural process just unfold. They're going to try to save and bolster all of these crappy newspapers with their crappy journalists.
Honestly, it's just they're finally consummating the marriage,
right,
between the press and the government.
Essentially, that's what they're doing.
I mean, this is
that's great.
If anybody doesn't have a problem with this, then you need to examine yourself in the proper role of the press and the government. Pat, when I was in Charleston, South Carolina, we wouldn't even let our news hosts do commercials.
Oh, I know.
Right? You know this.
Oh, yeah.
We won't. You're not going to do a commercial because what if the 0.01% chance the car dealership that you're advertising for is in the news for some case or whatever? Well, now you're compromised.
Right.
But now we're talking about paying journalists that are supposed to be covering the government. I mean,
it's amazing.
How is this not
just amazing?
A red flag for every American.
But I mean, it's all out in the open at least now. At least they're not even pretending. Yeah, we're neutral. No, you're not neutral.
For all the favors that the press does for the government, how nice that they're finally getting paid for them.
Mm-hmm. Washington Post fact checker defends Pete Buttigieg on a couple of weeks ago. He was talking about the racist bridges. Oh, yeah. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
So the Washington Post jumped in to defend him, and then they found out their defense was probably not true. Okay, maybe the story really isn't true.
Uh-oh.
So Buttigieg claimed that America has an issue with racist infrastructure. His statements raised some eyebrows, and calls were issued for Washington Post to review what he claimed, but instead of checking the factuality of Buttigieg's claims, instead, the Washington Post jumped to the Transportation Secretary's defense before talking to any experts about whether what he was saying was true or not.
Wow.
So Glenn Kessler is their big fact checker, and he tweeted that Buttigieg's claims were detailed at length in some award-winning book that claims prolific city builder Robert Moses took action to limit access by buses to certain parks and other public spaces by building bridges that were too low for buses to pass underneath.
Oh, no!
So he did that on purpose. He built the bridges to be just low enough to where the bus couldn't come through, and then you couldn't be busing people into that area.
That is hilarious.
So if you didn't own a car, you couldn't get there.
Oh, God.
You wouldn't have access to parks or beaches, supposedly. So Kessler continued his Twitter thread seeking to defend Buttigieg by quoting more criticism of Moses' actions with only one source to confirm the bias that Buttigieg claimed was there. Now, days later, they finally had to add this addendum. They didn't apologize. They didn't say, okay, it's not true, because they deemed it true, first of all. Then they said, okay, experts increasingly doubt this story. No. Yeah. Okay, the damage has already been done.
Right.
It's a nonsensical story. It's stupid. It's not true. But the Washington Post doesn't care about actual facts. They just care about defending Democrats. They just care about the agenda. And these are the people that the government is going to start paying now. Oh, okay. Yeah, that seems right. That seems fair.
My goodness.
Not a problem. Speaking of lack of journalism, Don Lemon weighed in on the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. Here's what he has to say about it.
What the right is saying about Kyle Rittenhouse is that, well, the government didn't do its job, so it took a 17-year-old kid to come in and do what was right. That's vigilantism. That's not what people are not supposed to be vigilantes. We're not supposed to be taking justice into our own hands. Imagine if every single person in America did that.
Imagine if every single person took justice into their own hands. Like when somebody bothered them at a bar, they walked over to that person who bothered them at the bar, reached into their pants, rubbed in that area vigorously, and then jammed that hand into the person who bothered them, into their nose, pushing back their head and asking, whether they like this or that better.
This is hypothetical.
You like females or males parts better. Yeah, this is just a hypothetical
Thank you.
situation I'm talking about here. I mean, it does sound weirdly specific, but
yeah. Well, you have
it just happened to be
mind.
It happened to be a scenario that popped into my mind for some reason. I don't know. This guy is unbelievable. All right, let's see the rest of this.
Imagine if you call for black men or just black folks to be armed and go out on the streets and do what they think. Justice, take it back. Remember, and what they did to you and slavery, whatever. Go and take things and do.
Wait, are there
Imagine
slaves?
If people were condoning
former
that.
slaves among us?
Or just doing that. Will there be a different perception in this country about who should and who shouldn't carry guns? Would our gun laws be different?
Always about race.
So
right?
There's a double standard, but it is the ultimate degree of entitlement. This is what I'm supposed to do because this belongs to me. Meaning this street, this town, and this country. And I think it's tough for people to hear that, but it is the absolute truth. I don't walk down the street saying, I pay taxes here and therefore No. If I see someone breaking the law, I call the cops. That's what they're there for. It's supposed to be about law and order.
Bar?
This isn't about law and order. This is about unlawful conduct and disorder.
No. First of all, nobody told Kyle Rittenhouse, hey, you need to grab a gun and go down there and defend Americans' property. He did that on his own. No white people were telling him to do that. So your analogy about telling blacks to grab their guns and go into the street and do whatever. First of all, we're not afraid of black people having guns. They should own guns legally. If they can do it legally, just like a white person or a Hispanic person or any other American, if you do it legally, yes, have guns.
You know who was afraid of blacks having guns was the Democrat Party in the South. And jurisdiction after jurisdiction who made laws that prevented blacks from defending themselves during the height of the tensions of the civil rights era.
And anybody who keeps bringing up that scenario is themselves racist. Why? Because we're not worried about it.
Right.
Conservatives are not worried about that scenario. But he continually brings it up. Mm-hmm. Don Lemon brings it up all the time. And by the way, how is it that this guy has received no scrutiny about what he did at that bar in the Hamptons? And there's witnesses that he did it. He did do it. He offered the guy $500,000 to go away. And the guy said no.
I love that guy. I mean, that guy awesome. So this is winding its way through the courts, yeah? So it's still in process. We'll see what happens, how this plays out. The one who might be going away after it's all said and done may be Don Lemon. We'll see.
But if this was Tucker Carlson who did something similar, he'd already be off the air.
You wouldn't be gone. The courts wouldn't even be an issue.
No.
That would be an afterthought.
He would have already been burned at the stake in the court of public opinion. He would have been burned, and his career would be over. Yeah. He'd be canceled. He'd never work again. Lemon continues to act like nothing happened.
Yeah, and to the Rittenhouse case, if Rittenhouse were black, then Don Lemon would be up there doing his little monologue talking about, hey, he was just a black man defending his community. And when white people pointed a gun at him, he shot him in self-defense.
Yes.
Everybody knows this is exactly the take that Don Lemon would have in this instance if the races were different.
No question about it.
And by the way, your listeners have had some great tweets about the Rittenhouse trial. I don't know if Rob has those available, but do you have the one, Typo? The real Typo person has the tweet there. Read that one, Pat. I think you'll enjoy it.
Typo tweets, Kyle Rittenhouse is forced to stand trial for killing 2 people in self-defense, yet the Biden administration openly admitted they drone-striked an entire family, killing children, and not a single person will stand trial or, at minimum, have their pay docked.
So true. Rowdy Introvert, how about this tweet?
Wow.
I think you'll appreciate this one as well.
Didn't Kyle Rittenhouse illegally cross the border
into a state?
Then, as part of being processed, get separated from his family? Does he qualify for a $450,000 settlement?
That is good.
Yeah, good stuff. Mm-hmm. And of course, you can't think of it logically because there is no logic involved in
don't be doing
any of this. Meanwhile, Jen Psaki is back. She did have COVID-19, right?
Yeah.
She must have had a fairly mild case of it.
Guess so.
Since we didn't hear much about it. But the Biden administration seems just fine with gas prices being as high as they are. And here's Jen explaining that.
Back. There's some Republicans who have taken this moment where they've seen gas prices spike to criticize sort of the administration big picture, right? Canceling the Keystone Pipeline, halting leases for new drilling leases on federal land, saying that sort of the administration's policies writ large have contributed to the rise in gas prices. What's your response now to that?
Our response is that one, we haven't canceled existing there are existing leases that are continuing. Just to be clear, I know you know that not new leases, but just to be clear, and I know that's been a criticism, so that's why I said that, not an accurate one. Okay. Look, our view is that the rise in gas prices over the long term makes an even stronger case for doubling down our investment and our focus on clean energy options so that we are not relying on the fluctuations in OPEC and their willingness to put more supply and meet the demand in the market. That's our view. We feel that, but we also feel that there are a number of actors here, including price gouging, that we have concerns, and we've seen out there. We've asked the FTC to look into the need for OPEC to release more that are the larger issues here, and that's why we've been focused on those options.
Pat, your response.
There's so much. Where do you even begin on that? Where do you even begin? They just accept zero responsibility for anything they've done. Closing down pipelines, stopping people from drilling in certain places, making us energy dependent again upon OPEC. So we have to crawl to OPEC again and say, pretty please, with sugar on it, please increase the supply. Please, we're paying too much in gas prices. Please. Under Trump, we didn't have to worry about OPEC at all. We were energy independent, which means we set our own prices. We do our own thing. We tell OPEC to pound sand. It doesn't matter what OPEC does if we're energy independent.
It almost feels like this is by design.
It sure does.
It almost feels like sabotage.
Yeah.
On your way of life.
It really does. And, it'd be a different thing if we had renewable energy, their so-called renewables, wind and solar. If that was ready to pick up the slack on the so-called fossil fuels, I'd be all about it. Okay, yes, double down on your commitment to wind and solar, except you can't because it's not able to pick up that slack.
Right.
Wind and solar can't possibly pick up the slack.
They constantly say, in developing these green energy solutions. How about you get them developed and then we have this conversation?
Right. Right. What they're doing is putting the cart before the horse. You can't. It's going to cause massive problems, and they just keep going for it.
They love it. They love this.
Yeah, they do. Yes, they do. It's agonizing.
But hey, we got COP, though. That was good. COP 26, right? We got some solutions to stop the Earth's imminent destruction.
And they were riding around in really cool green electric buses. And apparently
this green energy bus they had.
A little problem with their green energy bus.
Completely broke down and
had to be towed by a 16-liter diesel.
That'll happen when your bus runs on sunshine.
Okay.
So look, the truck that went and rescued the green energy bus, I can tell you it doesn't run on green energy.
No, it doesn't. No, it does not.
Yeah, that was outside of
I love that.
COP 26. I love that stuff. I love it when it happens. I love it when it snows during global warming conferences, too.
Oh, that's
the same thing.
That's really fun.
Yeah. But hey, so did we get did we save the planet yet?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Good.
Let's say yes to that. They did compromise on a coal agreement.
Oh.
At the UN Climate Summit. Almost 200 nations accepted a compromise deal aimed at keeping a key global warming target alive, but it contained a last-minute change and watered it down quite a bit. Several countries, including small island states, said they were deeply disappointed by the change promoted by India to phase down rather than phase out coal power.
Yeah, India.
Yeah. Our fragile planet is hanging by a thread. No, it's not.
I love the language they use.
Secretary General of the UN said this. We are still knocking on the door of climate catastrophe. Nation after nation had complained after 2 weeks of UN climate talks in Glasgow, Scotland, about how the deal did not go far or fast enough.
Of course not.
But they said it was better than nothing. That's what they always say.
Wait, what does Greta say? Blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. In the end, the summit broke ground by singling out coal, however weakly, by setting the rules for international trading of carbon credits and by telling big polluters to come back next year with improved pledges for cutting emissions.
All right.
Oh, okay, we will.
COP 27.
We'll do that. But domestic priorities, both political and economic, again kept nations from committing to the fast, big cuts that scientists say are needed.
So you mean countries are looking out for themselves, as they should? Okay.
Ahead of the talks, the UN had set 3 criteria for success, and none of them were achieved. This always happens. UN's criteria included pledges to cut carbon dioxide emissions by half by 2030, $100 billion in financial aid from rich nations to poor nations. Jeez. Redistribution of wealth is what they're doing. And ensuring that half of that money went to helping the developing world adapt to the worst effects of climate change. And they achieved none of them. More Pat Gray Unleashed coming up. What about him? He's back, and this time he's pissed.
That's accurate, is it not?
Yeah, it's usually accurate. Yeah, pretty much. I think we're mostly angry, aren't we, lately? Just
well, I mean, we're
try
white.
not to be.
We're white dudes, isn't that?
That's right. That's right.
We're just playing the part.
That's right. Elon Musk. Did you see he lost $50 billion in 2 days? $50 billion. How many people can lose $50 billion in 2 days and still be the richest person on earth? Yeah, just one. There's only one. Out of 7 billion of us, just one.
And still, come in to work because they just enjoy their job like you and I do. I mean, we lose money like that all the time. And
here we are. Here we are. Biggest 2-day decline in the history of the Bloomberg Billionaires Index, and the biggest one-day fall after Jeff Bezos' $36 billion plunge following his divorce from Mackenzie Scott in 2019. Tesla's rout comes amid a tumultuous few days. Started when Musk asked his Twitter followers whether or not he should sell 10% of his stake in his company. Now, he does this kind of stuff all the time that hurts his stock, and he apparently doesn't care.
Yeah, but okay. I'm trying to find. He responded to a tweet from Bernie Sanders. Here we go. Bernie Sanders tweeted out yesterday, or I guess Friday night, whatever, Saturday night. We must demand that the extremely wealthy pay their fair share, period. To which Elon responded, I keep forgetting that you're still alive. Want me to sell more stock, Bernie? Just say the word.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, he's not really appreciating the socialist tweeting about taxing people like Elon more.
Good for him.
Yeah, it's fun stuff.
Because they're talking about his tax bill being $15 billion right now. And who knows? I doubt that's all of it. There's just 15. Think of that. I don't care. Again, I don't care how rich you are.
Thank you.
You should never owe the government $15 billion.
Remember, the government creates nothing.
Absolutely nothing. That's right.
They take from you and me and Elon, and then they waste it. And oh, how they waste it. They are so good at that.
And then they try to make it like you should be happy that he lost $50 billion in one day, or that he has a $15 billion tax bill. Because he doesn't deserve that money somehow, or it's too much money for any one person to have, which goes against everything, we believe as Americans, really. We believe that you should be rewarded for success. Your success brings you this kind of thing. And he's done things that others haven't been able to do.
Yeah, and 100 times out of 100, I will trust the way Elon Musk chooses to spend money over the way the government chooses to spend money.
No question. Yeah, no question. 888-900-3393. More Pat Gray Unleashed coming up.
What number do people call to get on the air? Do we have that number?
Why, yes, there is a phone number you can call. 888-900-3393.
Yep.
It's Pat Gray Unleashed on the Blaze.
He's right. That's interesting. It is. It's very interesting. You know what else is interesting? You can go to Kexi.com and get the best cookies on the planet. We've got this exclusive limited edition box of cookies and other stuff that we're going to drop on a week from Friday, so it's Black Friday, and these are the best cookies we've ever made, which I think is saying something.
Wait a minute. You said
fantastic.
The box has, quote, cookies and other stuff, end quote?
I think there's a pamphlet in there and tells you about us and where we're going and where we're headed, that kind of thing. And we expect this to sell out pretty fast. So go to Kexi.com to sign up for it and to order your cookies, because we have this fall line, too, that includes the cinnamon roll cookie that is, you have to taste it to believe it. Really, really good.
I'm intrigued.
Also, let me tell you about kicking off our holiday merchandise sale early with a 20% discount on all items when you use the promo code PAT20. This code will work through Christmas. Order early with, all these supply chain issues at patgrayshop.com. Promo code PAT20. patgrayshop.com. Promo code PAT20. We got to get to this Nancy Pelosi video.
People have
Somebody
been sending me this.
Is impersonating Nancy as she spoke. We played this last week from her, and
Right.
it doesn't make any sense. She's just babbling like she does.
She
I don't know if
likes the
she's
sauce.
drunk.
Oh, it's got to be. Come on. That or either the plastic is dripping into her brain.
Something.
But yeah, so somebody actually lip synced that. This is so tough. How they did this, I don't know. Congrats. This lady's great.
Check this out.
So we are getting some bird and privilege. I think mostly we're getting privilege scrub, because privilege scrub is deadlift to a bill. Birdable is important. You have to take it out, but privilege violation can take you out. So we're again getting that as we go along as well. But when we pass a bill, then they will see it in its aggregate and make some.
Any concerns that any of this is messaging, because that they have to take some of these things out regardless, no matter what you send over? You said you weren't going to send a messaging bill.
No, we're not sending a messaging bill, but we want to be sure that what we send is not birdable or bird bath or privilege scrub. They're the two exercises we're getting.
So
That's
well done.
That's really good.
So good.
It's really good.
We will tweet that out at Pat Unleashed.
And it shows, again, how nonsensical that speech was. What are you talking about? It's not birdable? What bill is birdable? It's not birdable. Okay.
Privilege scrub.
Privilege scrub and then a bird bath scrub.
You got it.
Something, I don't know. That's amazing. She did it really well. We don't know her name, though, do we?
I can look.
That was really good.
Her name's Nancy Pelosi. What do you mean?
Okay.
What are you talking
Right.
about?
Sure.
Let's see if there's a name associated with this. The Rachel Maria.
Okay.
There you go.
All right. There you have it. Also, remember we talked about the 7-year-old that's been suspended 36 times for not wearing a mask? Over and over and over. In fact, to the point where I guess they're saying she might have to repeat second grade. Anyway, she had a message for the school board.
My name is Fiona Lachuz, and I am in second grade at Discovery Kale Elementary. I am back to talk to you again today. And for anyone who thinks I didn't write my speech last time is wrong. I wanted to be here then, just like I do now. Sorry if I am supposed to be scared when I see people yelling at these meetings. So I am back today, and tomorrow is my birthday. I am going to get suspended if I don't wear a mask for 3 more days. Just because I get suspended for not wearing a mask isn't going to change my mind. You can keep suspending me. I still have the right not to wear a mask. It is not fair that I'm getting punished because you guys, the school board, are not following the law. That is not fair.
Right.
It just isn't right. I'm still going to stand up for what I believe in, and nothing's going to change my mind. I've been getting suspended a lot because I'm wearing a mask. Do you know how dirty masks are? Because you touch the mask, you put it on your face, you breathe all those germs in because you have lots of bacteria on your hand.
Right, that's true.
And okay, yeah, I hope you all go to jail for doing this to me.
I hope you all go to jail for doing this to me.
And my family is proud of
Love
me.
it.
And my Uncle Murphy, that is in heaven, is really proud of me. And I want to say Burke sucks, but instead of, your rules suck.
Your rules suck.
All right. That's great.
The only thing missing is her pulling down her mask on her way out and sticking her tongue out at him. That would have been good. I love that. You know what? I really hope these parents are going to homeschool that precious child now, because this could end up just being a huge blessing in disguise.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Get her away from all that, which is pretty good advice for just about everyone, as a matter of fact. Then there's a Florida mom who supports the COVID-19 vaccine. She was excited when the drug was approved for children 5 to 11. She weighed the options and the facts available. Erin Slutak then decided it was best for her and her 5-year-old son to get vaccinated. So Slutak and her son Landon traveled to a Walgreens in southwest Miami-Dade after her son's pediatrician wasn't able to administer the shot. Yeah, and I love that. Why would you go to a doctor for a shot? Why?
That's so weird.
Why would you go to your doctor for a medical situation? I don't know. That doesn't make any sense, right? You go to Walgreens or Walmart, Sam's Club, Costco. That's where you get your shot. Unbelievable.
Yeah, okay.
Even though the COVID-19 vials are colored, they're color-coded between adults and kids, Slutak admitted her son was accidentally given an adult dose. For those who might be wondering, the color difference of the vaccines isn't even close. Purple is used for adults and orange for children. Slutak admitted that she made sure to ask and was reassured Landon was getting a child dose. She was later informed, no, I'm sorry, he was given the adult dose. Don't worry about it. I'm sure everything's fine. That's perfectly fine. Don't worry about it. And a Virginia pharmacy has, I guess, admitted to giving 112 kids the wrong dose of COVID-19. That I'm sure it's not a problem at all. Ted Pharmacy in Aldie, Virginia, incorrectly administered partial doses of adult vaccines to the kids, likely either not fully protecting them or even giving them too much. Again, this is in Loudoun County. Man, what is going on in Loudoun County, Virginia? Because they didn't have the children's formulation, they used the adult formulation, but only gave a third of the amount to the kids. Our understanding from Ted Pharmacy is that they were trying to do a workaround, which is not authorized.
Oh, please.
Yeah, it's experimental enough to begin with. You don't want to do an impromptu workaround.
Oh, my.
Yeah, this should be fine. Just eyeball it. Just eyeball it.
Precisely what this is.
Yeah, it is. If it doesn't all go in, or it goes into the body but doesn't go into the muscle, or you don't draw it up exactly to the correct line, there's a chance you might get too little vaccine. Yeah, or too much. There's also a chance you could be given too much. And you could administer it wrong. Like the doctor we had last week, John Campbell, I think his name is. If it goes into the muscle, it's supposed to go into the muscle. And then it stays in the muscle. But if it goes into a vein or whatever, then you could have real problems. It's not supposed to be administered like that. And that's why you shouldn't be having, I don't know, like 7-Eleven clerks do this. There's nothing wrong with 7-Eleven clerks. They just don't know medicine, is my guess. I doubt you have very many people with a medical degree working at 7-Eleven.
But remember, we are restructuring our entire society over that.
Yeah. Yes, we are. Authorities confiscated all of the pharmacy's remaining coronavirus vaccines and ordered it to contact the families who received the shots. They were also sent guidance from the CDC to still get their second shot in 3 weeks as planned, or to even restart the 2-shot series at that time.
They're winging everything.
They're winging it.
Yep.
The alarm was only raised by a good, observant parent who noticed the shots came from vials with the wrong color cap.
Oh, yeah, we just learned from that other story, the purple and the orange, right?
Yeah.
So we got one parent out of 112 that paid close enough attention to what was being injected into their baby's body and said, wait, what's going on here? Oh, we're just, as you said, eyeballing it, ballparking it. That's probably right, guys? We're good.
Yeah, and the thing is, we're not baking cakes here. It's, so it's a little bit bigger issue than if you just eyeballed the flour and the sugar that you should put into the cake mix. We're talking about putting something into our children here.
There's going to be so much edited out for YouTube today. You want to go to blazetv.com/Pat. Go ahead and get yourself a subscription, not only for the full Pat Gray Unleashed thrill ride, but also for Glenn's special on Wednesday night about the origins of COVID.
Yeah, because they're probably not going to be happy about the 5 times August song we're about to play either. He has a great new song. He had one already about the vaccine, and now he's got this about Dr. Fauci, which I'm sure is fun.
Sad little man sitting deep in a lie. He's dead in his soul, but he'll keep you alive. Do what he says, not what he do, 'cause the truth is for him and the lie is for you. Sad little man, but he's treated like a god as the faithless pray to a fake and a fraud. Worship the man, pledge to his word. 1 shot, 2 shot, now you get a 3rd. Sad little man, you better run now while you know you can. Sad little man, you don't fool me, you sad little man. Sad little man, gonna trap you like a dog, put your head in a net while they eat you raw. Don't ask why, just comply, 'cause fear is the drug that the doc prescribed. Sad little man, you can watch him on the news, preaching to his choir while they learn the rules. Some feel safe and some feel healed, but they'll all hold his hand as he makes the kill. Sad little man, you better run now while you know you can. Sad little man, you don't fool me, you sad little man. Sad little man, and he wants your kids. Some might live while the rest get sick, so put him to the test and listen for the yell. When the truth comes out, he's gonna burn in hell. Sad little man, you better run now while you know you can. Sad little man, you don't fool me, you sad little man. You can't fool me, you sad little man.
Wow. That's awesome. Really, really well done.
I love. He is so talented. I reached out to him this
That's
weekend.
a hit song if it's not about Fauci.
And you can apply
it'd
that.
It'd be banned.
It's right.
It would be banned.
Right. That is a track on an album. It's so ambiguous.
Great.
It never says Fauci, right? I mean,
Right.
anyway, I said, man, this is so good. And he said he spent a week doing all the graphics in addition to the song.
So he did it all by himself.
Yeah, all by himself.
That's great.
Just incredible.
Nicely done.
Yeah, so we'll tweet this out.
What's his actual name? 5 times August?
Brad Skistimus.
Really good.
I tried to pronounce it. It took me about 5 minutes to pronounce his name. He was a recent guest at themikeshow.com. But he is such a talented, nice guy. He's here locally in Dallas. But yeah, he's found a new calling. Let's put it that way, because his background's pop music,
Yeah.
And now he's doing these kind of songs, and I
Really
love
good.
it.
Really good. And work that you might expect from, I don't know, some bands that used to care about tyranny and an oppressive government. But now they're completely in league with them, I guess. In fact, Eric Clapton, who is not in league with the governments, he's actually speaking out about it in music, and he's In fact, he did a Van Morrison song, and everybody was shocked that Eric Clapton would do such a song that kind of came down on the mandates and the lockdowns and the vaccine, and he's losing friends over it. Yeah. There was a big Washington Post article entitled, "What Happened to Eric Clapton?" What happened to Eric Clapton? What happened to everybody else is the question you should be asking. Where are the people who are not compliant? The rock and rollers who are supposedly rebels. None of them are anymore, apparently. They're all in bed instead with the government. Eric Clapton did Stand and Deliver. I think, did we play that on the air? I'm not sure if we played it on the air because, we get flagged or whatever. Yeah. I don't know. They drag us outside and beat us with clubs. I'm not sure what would happen, but the article in the Washington Post reads, Robert Cray was stunned when he first heard Stand and Deliver. Eric Clapton, his one-time musical hero who became a mentor and friend, had released his first protest song in 56 years of recording. Only it wasn't about George Floyd or global warming. Oh, okay. It can only be about those things?
Yeah.
Clapton's mid-tempo shuffle, a collaboration with Van Morrison released in December, went full anti-lockdown, taking aim at the government. How dare a rock and roll hero take aim at the government for trying to control a global pandemic by temporarily shuttering restaurants, gyms, and concert halls. It's despicable that he shouldn't be upset about all of this.
And remember, he got the vaccine, and
he did,
and
he got sick.
He thought he wasn't going to be able to play again.
Yeah,
his hands.
Yeah, I think he was really concerned about his life for a while. And yeah, he couldn't use his hands. I mean, obviously that came back around, but still, why did it mess him up so badly in the beginning? So apparently now Robert Cray has cut off all ties with Eric Clapton and wants nothing to do with him again because he wrote this protest song. I mean, since when is rock and roll about full compliance and going along with Big Brother? Wow, have times changed? Pretty amazing. I got to tell you a little bit more about this because some of the details on this are absolutely staggering. Get into that tomorrow, along with much more. In the meantime, have a great day. We'll see you again tomorrow morning on Pat Gray Unleashed.
Pat Gray, only on the Blaze Radio Network.